Class is in session. How's everybody doing today? So, I really needed to come on here while I had the chance, right after I had to talk with a boss of mine. And we were talking about the opportunity that this thing is giving all of us, this COVID-19. Okay, so let me just start with, I was listening to a video this morning, and the speaker on that video, it was just a motivational talk he was putting out on Facebook for all of us to kind of have another look and another approach at what's going on. And he was talking about how every story, there's a hero, but in order for the hero to be a hero, he has to experience some things. He has to go through trials and tribulations, which bring him to a point where he then returns home with what we call the gift of the goddess, or the elixir. In my life, there's been so many things that have happened, and getting ready for 2020, everybody's like reading horoscopes, and if you're into numerology, doing numerology, and just looking at all the possibilities for what's next, what's going to be this big breakthrough year that we have, because everything promised that it was going to be amazing. But something I've learned recently is that amazing outcomes aren't always built by amazing process. I've been on plenty of quote-unquote hero journeys in my life, you would call it, where the outcome was unknown and what I was up against seemed insurmountable. And at 35 years old, I'm here to tell you that none of those things were insurmountable. Obviously, I'm still here. In 2012, I was diagnosed with a quite severe, could have been severe medical diagnosis. And I'm still here. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm active in health and fitness. I watch my diet. So that's one thing. I've dealt with homelessness, drug addiction, codependency, abusive relationships. I've been bulimic, and I've dealt with eating disorders. All of these things that I dealt with were external, but all of the results that I received from these things were internal. So in light of all this, and going back to the readings and the forecasts from numerology and horoscopes and all that stuff, one thing that stuck out to me was that, in mine personally, it says whenever this huge thing, right, and speculation on a huge thing, nobody knew what it was going to be, but when this huge thing happens in 2020, I was supposed to feel at peace. And oddly enough, all this is going on, I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I'm not fretting over what it's going to be like. Because right now, on a day-to-day basis, we're told what it's going to be like. So this is the new normal. And every day is going to be normal. It won't be like the day before it, and it might not be like the day that's about to come. But that day, that's your normal, folks. This new normal that I'm talking about it's not anything that we've seen. It's not something that we know. And that's bringing fear to a lot of people, and that sucks. I really hate it. But here's the thing. We're always talking about living moment to moment. We're always talking about, staying in the now. But how much really do we practice that? I mean, I'm not sure. I know for myself, it's not always been too constant, or there wouldn't have been moments of worry. But I would just like to, right now I just want to talk to everybody about kind of how you're feeling and maybe how to replace some of those things with faith. And I'm not talking about a particular faith, like a religious faith or anything like that, but faith in humanity, faith in our ability to overcome, faith in your neighbor, faith in the guy down the street, faith in people you don't know, to be present, to show up when needed, just like the healthcare workers are doing right now. We've got a lot of people on the front lines of this thing, and they're putting their lives at risk. And we're sitting at home, and a lot of us are doubting, and we're fearful, and we're loading up on the sweets and the unhealthy foods and the Netflix, and we're not really giving ourselves any positivity in this whole thing. This COVID-19 quarantine is an opportunity, folks. It's an opportunity, number one, to really take a dive into self. Like, what's going on with me today? How am I feeling today? It's an opportunity to set goals. What can I do today that's going to make me better for tomorrow? Did I do yoga this morning? Did I practice a breathing exercise? And if I don't know how to do these things, am I willing to go on websites like Lululemon has a lot of free videos right now that you can watch, and they're super awesome, and they walk you through the steps. Am I willing to read a book that I haven't read? Have I, even logged into YouTube and listened to some audio feeds on personal development? Am I looking at my diet? Am I eating the colors of the rainbow, or my food's colorful? Or am I buying something that's pre-made and I'm just throwing it in the microwave and I'm hopping back on the couch in my pajamas and my blanket and not cooking my own food? It's super easy, and now's the time to learn how to make those things in the kitchen. And if it's not good the first time, that's okay. Guess what? You got 24 hours, most of us, of not leaving the house or not going too far and doing too many things. So why not use that time to teach yourself, some culinary talents, to teach yourself some meditation and breathing exercises? Watch some videos on mindfulness. Mindfulness is an amazing way to stay in the now. And some of those exercises, they might seem silly at first, but if you give it a shot and you do it, I'm telling you one thing, you're going to be amazed. Because what I'm feeling that we need to really all focus on is when this is over, because it's going to be over. You'll hear me say that a lot in my videos and my podcast coming up. How am I going to make sure that I am an asset to this world? How am I going to build value into my person so that when I step back into the workforce at full force, I'm going to be ready? And when I show back up better than before, am I going to get a promotion? Am I going to get a pay increase? Am I going to be the one who shows up when all the people who haven't been doing these things can't make it to work, or they want to leave early, or they're showing up late, or they're not getting their tasks done on time because they've gotten out of practice? I'm telling you, right now is going to make or break what we do in America. And one thing that's promised after a recession is a boom. The economy's going to skyrocket. Service industry, y'all are going to be making more than you ever made because people have been dying to get out of the house. Hairstyle, cosmetologists, skincare, all of you places that do massage and things like that, you're going to be booked solid because people are going to want to feel good again when this is all over, because right now they're living in fear. So am I working on my mannequins at home if I'm a cosmetologist? Am I studying those new techniques if I'm in yoga or personal fitness, or if I'm an instructor of any group classes? Am I keeping myself going? Yes, no, I can't answer that for you, but you can. And if the answer is no, how about this? A few simple things. 30 days. All right, if you'll go to YouTube, and I'll post the link later, Earl Nightingale, The Original Strangest Secret, watch it. it'll change everything. And there's a 30-day challenge on the flip side of what he calls it, the reverse side of the record. And it gives you simple things, okay? So are you saving 10% of every dollar you make? Are you setting goals and fulfilling those goals? Are you keeping a journal? And I'm not talking about taking notes and leaving them everywhere. I'm talking about get a book and let that book be your journal. And don't ever throw it away, because in 10 years, you want to go back and you want to look over those things and you want to see, oh, wow, I'm thinking really different now than I was then, right? My goal sheet, I need to set reasonable goals, right? If get up and walk 5 minutes, right? And when you make those goal lists and you go through and you check them off, that does more than just check something off. It gives you a feeling of accomplishment. Oh, I did something. Wow, that's really cool. So, I mean, there's so many things that we can do. Have you called the relatives that you haven't spoken to in years because you were too busy with work and the gym and all these after-school activities, running the kids back and forth? Do they know who grandma and grandpa are? Do they know their cousins? Have we talked to cousin so-and-so or aunt, you know who? If we haven't, now's a perfect time. You don't have anything else to do. You're online, you're scrolling through Facebook, you're watching the feeds, you're doing your thing, but what are you doing for you? People in jobs get paid more based on value. Value is not determined by the work we do at the job. It starts at home by the learning that we're doing. The, self-help books, the 7 Habits to Successful People, the 4 Absolutes. There's all types of things. Sermon on the Mount is an amazing book. It breaks down, one of Jesus's, talks, the Sermon on the Mount. It breaks it down into a way that's so much more than a religious view, right? If you're not a Christian, if you're not a religious person, I still recommend reading Sermon on the Mount, because here's the thing. One thing that's proven over time and time again is that the Bible, religious or not, is a manual for how to handle situations in a right way. And whether you believe in Jesus or not, I'm telling you, if you pick up the Bible and read it as a manual for living. Any great speaker and any successful person is going to tell you that. Most of them. Now, at this point in my life, for years, you always hear people say, and I've said, well, this is going to make sense one day. Everything happens for a reason. Well, for me in my life, I really feel like now is that reason. Because while everybody's doing the hustle and bustle of what it's going to be like, and oh my God, I'm so scared, I'm not, because I know we're going to be okay. Because when this is over, and it will be over, we're still going to be here. Not everyone, and my heart goes out to the people that are losing folks right now, and that's really, really sad. But here's the thing. I was talking to my boss earlier, and we were talking about losing people that we love and how long it takes sometimes to deal with that and to accept it and to learn that they're not going to come back. But we're never going to lose the love that we had for them. We're never going to lose the love that they had for us, because who they are while they're here, that's how we need to remember them. We don't need to remember that they died during coronavirus, or, that they were wiped out along with hundreds of thousands of people on the globe at a single time. And it might not have been the funeral that we wanted to have for them, or we might not even know when we're going to get their ashes. And, because a lot of these people are just being cremated. There's so many things that could upset someone right now. But I need all of you, please, to try to stay in the moment and realize that this is a moment in time that history will never forget, because it's going to be one of the shapers of the new world, the new normal. You'll hear me talk about that a lot too, because I think it's important to understand that today's normal won't be tomorrow's, but you can't worry about yesterday's, because it's definitely not going to be like that again. Every day is going to be different. And until we get on the other side of this and we can really develop and mold and form what normal looks like after this is over, because it will be over. We got to stay in the moment, and we have to each moment start trying to be better for each other. Most importantly, build value, work on who you are, because when that day comes and you accept and I accept, and the world one at a time, however long it takes to happen, once people accept that the grief I'm holding on to is going to hold me back, and they accept, because there's a moment in grief when you accept that it's happened and you actually know that I either move through this because I keep my focal point in front of me and I don't stop no matter what. I continue moving forward each day, no matter how hard it gets. And when I lay down, pass out, or just crash at the end of the day, the next day, I do it again. Because when this is over, and it will be over, I want to be looking around and I want to see people who were better than they were when it started. Please, America, world, let's not be a place when this is over that looks back and we're worse than we were when it started. We're more angry than we were when it started. We're bitter. We're hateful. We're upset. Let's be grateful, blessed, and built bigger than we were, better than we were. Until next time, carry this with you. Share this podcast. Post it wherever you want. It's public. It's free for all you guys. I hope it helped.